why teaching? Why is that important? Welcome into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. I'm Yow Scott Stewart, coming your way from down in Pulaski here in just a few moments, giving you all the news, this news from Giles County. We've also got a lot going on in today's Mornings on Main Street. Very excited to give you an interview with Kelli Johnson of Visit Columbia. She's going to tell you about this weekend's First Friday event and what you can expect coming here to the square in downtown Columbia. This week we also have a sit down with Columbia Mayor Chaz, as well as a sports story from up in Spring Hill. So plenty to come your way. Also sports news coming at you from Maurice, Patton, and of course Wade Neely down in Pulaski. Right now, we're going to tell you what was on the front page of this week's Main Street Maury on The Wrap. When you pick up this week's Main Street Maury, you can find stories on the final vote of the Maury County Board of Education on the charter school application that was voted down last week, and there's a full story on that in the paper. You can also find the state of the city from Spring Hill. Mayor Jim Hageman and his team put together an event at the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce last week, and so there's a story about that in the paper, as well as what you saw last week from the Nashville Tea Company. That's going to be on the front page. You can see the print version of that as well, and also the review of the Faith Firearms Forum that was held in Columbia last week, where several community leaders got together and talked about how we can make our community safer in regards to firearms. So all of that and much, much more on the inside of Main Street Maury, so make sure to check it out. Right now, we're going to send you down to Pulaski, where Scott Stewart is standing by.
Hey everybody, I'm Scott Stewart, and this is The Wrap for the Pulaski Citizen this week. Minor Hill Pre-K Teacher of the Year, Stephanie Morgan, is this week's Citizen Spotlight, and she's got the top and center of the front page, that place of honor for all of our Citizen Spotlights. We've got several articles from various discussions at recent Pulaski City Council meetings, including traffic control devices and the city's parade permitting process. Also on the front page this week, the County Commission receives an economic update from new EDC Director Phil Reese, and as students head back to school this week, we got a picture of GCHS's new look on the outside with those new windows. Page A2 highlights all the businesses around the Pulaski Square here, and Giles Pass spotlights Frank Ewan this week. Also inside, the Pulaski Citizen took a first place among its honors at the recent Tennessee Press Association Awards. 55 awards were earned by Main Street Media newspapers for the 2022 year. So I'd like to take this moment to tell everyone how much we here at the Pulaski Citizen really appreciate your support for the local newspaper. It's hard to believe it. It's been almost 6 months since we almost lost our local newspaper, and your support has been amazing. I also want to remind everyone to be looking for an opportunity to support your local schools and your local newspaper with our school subscription drive. $10 for each subscription sold by students in Giles County schools will go back to their school. And last year, more than $2,600 was raised for Giles County schools through the subscription drive. As always, we have obituaries, property transfers, docket, backward glances, fun and games, church directory, classifieds, and so much more in this week's Pulaski Citizen. We'll be right back after this.
Having a good, confident smile and being able to portray that positivity to others is really helpful.
A professional family atmosphere is what we get every time we come here.
Our hygienists do a better job at kind of assessing mouths and coming up with plans than most dentists do.
They're very kind and they're very aware of other people.
I think if there's things that I would want you to leave here with, I want you to feel like you were heard, that we listened to you, and I want you to feel like that your concerns were addressed.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome back into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. It's Mayor's Corner, and this morning I am with Columbia Mayor Chaz. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on here in Columbia. There's a lot going on. So let's try to narrow it down into a couple of things. But first, I want to mention one of the biggest things that you do, particularly as mayor. One of the things that you're most excited about every year is the Youth Leadership Council, and that is that's coming up. Talk a little bit about how important the Leadership Council is in getting youth involved in city government is.
Well, I tell the Mayor's Youth Council students every year, this will be our third year, so this will be the third time I get to tell them this, that what we want to create is a program where not only they learn about city government, but they grow an appreciation about the city of Columbia. And as a mayor, I'm almost 40 years old, and I'm the youngest mayor that they've ever had in terms of being closest to their age. And so I've always felt sort of a special obligation to our younger generation to get them involved. When I was my first memory of city government, I was a senior at Central High School. I picked up the phone and called Mayor Barbara McIntyre, made a request. 2 days later, that request was honored, and I never will forget that. It gave me some insight into city government. And so this Mayor's Youth Council is sort of doing that on an even bigger level, and involving the youth is such an important thing for us. And so we've been really excited over the last 2 years. We've had students from all across Maury County that have joined this council. The council has done some great things in our community, and I'm excited for what's in store for year 3.
Well, it should be fun, and looking forward to seeing who is involved in that. In the world of city government, there's a lot going on, especially right now, because it's kind of the beginning of the fiscal year. You guys are just getting into that first kind of meeting that sets really your agenda for the entire year. So what are some of the things that folks can be looking out for that you guys are really making a priority early in this fiscal year?
Well, infrastructure is always our top priority, making sure that we have adequate infrastructure, making sure that we're not only planning for the needs of today, but also looking for the needs to the future as well. And so there's several things that you'll see coming across, including things such as purchasing snow plows and enhancing our fleet at Public Works Department for public safety matters. Also, obviously, Columbia Fire and Columbia Police Department always receiving adequate funding to fully fund them. Again, public safety being such a key importance, but other things as well, Chris. One thing that I'm really proud about is the wastewater treatment plant expansion, which will allow for us to ensure we have adequate wastewater resources and facilities for the next 25 plus years. Again, planning for the future. And so we have money in this year's budget to begin funding that project. Will be the most aggressive and largest capital project that we've ever done single-handedly at city government. But we're also looking at ways to bring in grant monies for projects such as that and others. As you know, there are a lot of grant opportunities that are out there, primarily state-related and or state-administered. And we always believe that if there's a state grant available that can benefit the city of Columbia, we would be doing a disservice not only to the city government, but to our taxpayers to not go after those grants. Sure. And so there are several state grants that are also on the agenda for approval. We do have to sort of formally vote to approve the application, which we will do. And I'm really excited about some of the grant opportunities that are coming down the pike, particularly one related to transportation.
When you talk about infrastructure and you talk about all of the things that are going on, you guys are making one of the reasons that you may need that is because the council just approved a massive, development project off of Trotwood, and probably over the next 10 to 15 years, you're going to see a lot of families coming into this community that are going to need access to, obviously Interstate 65, and they're going to live right off of that road, so right off of 43. So it makes sense. So talk a little bit about that project and why it made sense for Columbia to grow in that area at this time.
Well, you pointed out that it was a very large development, one of the largest developments that we've had in the city of Columbia. Not the largest, but we've had several of that scale over the last several years. And it's one, look, Columbia, like many Middle Tennessee cities, is a community that's growing, that's not without growing pains. Even if growing pains is we have differing of opinions on what we want growth to look like and what we want to define smart growth as. But we know that we're a growing community, and we know that we want to keep growing in a positive direction and growing in a way that's thoughtful and that is trying to think about things, particularly those things that we can control, such as the wastewater treatment plant expansion. That's something that we can control. that we can look to the next 30 years. What's happening with the water intake, the Duck River, and the expansion of the water facilities. Again, that's another example. And the Trotwood development that also included several $1 million worth of improvements to Trotwood Avenue. So finding developments that are in ways paying for some of the infrastructure burden that they're going to create. And so what I liked about the Trotwood project is it's an example of our growth. Quality of our growth is improving. There was a time where folks, were just happy to get any growth. And then all of a sudden we had so much growth and folks says, well, okay, we've had enough apartments. Now we need some townhomes. And then we started having townhomes. And then folks said, hey, you know what? We've got too many townhomes being built. Now we need some single family residential. And so this Trotwood project, which is a large development, is 100% single family residential. So no apartments, no townhomes, something that, again, that as you continue to grow, your growth is enhanced and will look a little bit better in terms of some of the things that you might want. It's going to be a very nice development. I think it will serve as a residential neighborhood for several folks who will be moving here who aren't here yet. But frankly, I think it'll also be a residential development that many of our current residents will want to move to from wherever they may be now. So there's a balance, obviously, regarding growth, Chris. Again, I think it's one of those issues that does divide us in a lot of ways. But really, even if we may divide it on what growth should look like, most people do believe that having some form of growth in a positive way is better than the alternative. And so I think when that project is all said and done, it'll be a project that will be a net positive for our community. Another thing about it is it's over a 10-year cycle. So, it's not like you're just waking up tomorrow and turning on the light switch and we have 700 new homes at that property. That'll be over a period of 10 years. But I go back to the traffic improvements along Trotwood. There will be some lights installed on Trotwood Avenue. There will be some widening of the turnoffs of the roadway that will create some efficiencies for Trotwood, including also the synchronization of traffic signal lights to where those lights will be synchronized to where the traffic flow will be controlled all along Trotwood for that. And so there's a lot of positives that come out of that, recognizing that sometimes when you're growing, there are some pains, and some of those pains were some of the debated topics. But really, at the end of the day, I think we had what was a very good final product that members of council can be proud of.
Well, give us anything else that you want to touch on real quick, and let's tell the folks about what's going on in Columbia.
Well, I think we've touched on a lot. Of course, we have a lot of other things going on. The Garden Street Streetscapes project in the Arts District, which will be a great thing because it'll help out along that corridor and serve as a new gateway to the Arts District. As you know, Chris, we're continuing to try to have a focus on that district to continue to create life and entrepreneurship over there. Our downtown continues to thrive. We've had a lot of musical chairs being played over the last several months, new businesses coming, some existing businesses relocating. So we're really excited about that. Have some things planned upcoming for the fall as well downtown that will be really exciting. And I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that starting today, August 1st through about August 7th, many of our schools in the area will start going back. And so really excited for what's in store for those kids and their teachers and all the families that have kids in school. Myself having 3 kids in school as well. This is an exciting time around our house. And so I just wanted to wish all of the viewers across Middle Tennessee who will be starting school or have someone they know that will, just best wishes for a great school year.
So looking forward to all of that and much more. And we'll be right back on Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee, right after this. No idea. Yep. Perfect.
That was everything.
Let your child play like the pros this fall season and join Titans Flag Football in their NFL Flag Football League. Titans Flag Football is no contact, easy to learn, convenient with teams meeting once per week for practices and games on Sundays. And we cannot forget, it's ridiculously fun. Teams are co-ed with ages from pre-K through 8th grade in select locations across Middle Tennessee. Visit TitansFlagFootball.com and sign up before registration closes on September 4th. Let's play together and win together this fall season with Titans Flag Football.
Welcome back into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. Chris Yow, and this morning I am here on just off the square in Columbia with our friends at Visit Columbia, and today we are with Kelli Johnson. Kelli, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming in, Chris.
This is a good time of year because it's hot and everybody's outside.
True.
Okay, I'm lying.
Yeah, I was going to
say. No, seriously, everybody is just complaining about how hot it is. But you know what? It doesn't matter how hot it is. First Friday in Columbia is always a good time, no matter what.
I agree with you. First Fridays for us is the first of the month. So it's almost like a reset. And it truly is a fun reset because people come to the square in droves. I mean, there's so many people that come out that aren't just Columbian. They're people coming from Hendersonville and Huntsville and Murfreesboro because they hear how special this event is for us. So for us, First Fridays truly is a fun reset each month, and it happens all year round.
So every month you see folks coming in and coming into this building, coming into shops and eating and food trucks and all the things. How does that even happen?
So it happens because the word got out. First Fridays is organic. So people share with their friends, share with other business owners that there's this opportunity in downtown Columbia to set up and to sell. And so it just keeps growing. It keeps happening. But I think what works so well for First Fridays is that people respect that. So our business owners stay open late. And they bring in bands into their space because they're like, we want you to stay late and have fun while shopping or eating. People, I don't know, it's truly cool. It's a cool organic process.
It is cool, and like you said, people are interested in being a part of it.
Right.
And it's not just because obviously there's foot traffic.
Right.
That's a big part. But
definitely a big part.
But it's about being part of something more unique and being part of something bigger.
It's part of the spirit that people are moving to Columbia for.
Calm down with that.
People are moving here and they're like, there is something there's vibe that it's warm and inviting and people want to help me and people are willing to send business my way. And I think the biggest thing about Columbia is that a lot of the civic groups that are here and the nonprofits, they do well because the citizens and the people keep pushing them. They keep wanting to see the town grow and the hospitality and the willingness to give. So yeah, our town comes to life during First Fridays, but our town is alive all the time.
Sure.
Just with everything that's happening in and around Columbia. But downtown Columbia is kind of the footprint, the front door. This is where you bring your families when they come to visit. That you don't show off your neighborhood, you show off downtown Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
And once you leave downtown Columbia, you've left it because it's all homegrown small businesses. All of the vendors are small town, mom and pop inspired businesses. So once you leave Columbia, you say bye and you can't recreate it. You have to come back for it.
And it's not just business. It's not just shopping. It's also, you've got live painters on the corners.
Absolutely.
You've got bands, like you said, in different restaurants and folks are even on, outside on the lawn just playing music. It's a vibrant type of event. And that's why, I wanted to make sure that folks who are maybe watching this from Pulaski or Giles
Yep.
County or even around Southern Middle Tennessee, that they understand that this First Friday event is not just for us here. It is for everyone. And we want you guys to come on down, experience First Fridays. And is there anything special this month that we need to be looking out for?
So the Chamber of Commerce Maury Alliance has been hosting a strolling on 6th. So if you would like to visit 6th Street, where the local chamber is, they host live music. They have tinted vendors. They've kind of made a mini First Fridays in their parking lot. Also on 6th Street is where our food court kind of sets up. You'll see food trucks from all around setting up on 6th. One of the cool new highlights is Mule House is hosting an after dark First Fridays event. So if you come to downtown at 5, our event shuts down at 8. So head over to the Mule House from 8 to 10, and in their courtyard, they've got music, they've got drinks. It's a cool atmosphere for the older crowd that comes in for First Fridays. But all around the square, First Fridays is a downtown event, but that doesn't mean it's only on the public square. So for us, we encourage you to park a little further, walk from Riverwalk Park up to the square because you'll catch random vendors setting up in front of random businesses that aren't on the square. And they all offer something unique and different. So check out Briarworks, which is on 5th Street. New South Marketplace has Grinder Switch Winery. So we definitely have a lot of local establishments that you can drink at. So check out our local vendors there. But in and all, First Fridays, it changes every month. So it's hard to know what's coming. So We always
Just come.
we always encourage people to come and see it because you just don't know until you're here.
You know, my mom always talks about how my Walmart has different stuff than her Walmart has. So
That's a true statement.
I know.
True.
I know. But that's the thing about coming to First Friday. You're going to get something new and different every time.
Every time.
It's worth making plans to be in Columbia every Friday from 5 until 8 right here on the downtown square and beyond, as she just told you. So thank you for telling us about First Fridays. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, we'll see you on First Fridays.
Oh, you absolutely will. We'll see you right after this on Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee.
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic.
Welcome back into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. Right now it's time to take a look at sports. We've got Maurice Patton in Maury County, Wade Neely in Giles County. We'll start in Maury County with Mo.
Yeah, Chris, we're down here at Spring Hill High School. I'll tell you why in a second. First, in this week's print edition of Main Street Maury, we've got coverage of the post-19 seniors as they embark on their Southeast Regional Tournament drive to try to get to the American Legion World Series. Right now, they're in Asheboro, North Carolina, in an 8-team tournament there. The winner goes on to the World Series in Shelby, North Carolina. So again, we've got coverage of that in the print edition of Main Street Maury. Also coverage of Zion Christian with a change at the top of their athletics department with Kelli Bratton stepping down. Boys basketball coach Sam Martin has been elevated to the athletic director's position. In print this week, we've got coverage of former Spring Hill standout Tylen Oden, who has joined the college football coaching staff down at John Melvin University. It's a new school down in Crowley, Louisiana. And again, we got coverage of that in print this week. Additionally, late last week, Columbia Central Principal Mike Steele introduced 3 new members of their coaching staff officially. We had previously had coverage of Devin Simler as a new baseball coach, Brandon Levere as the new boys basketball coach, and Mary Lee Forbes is your new football cheer coach at Columbia Central. So we've got a little coverage of that as well. And Mount Pleasant with a couple of anglers who brought some money home from a bass tournament over in Anderson, South Carolina. So catch all that in print in this week's Main Street Maury. Also, again, we're here at Spring Hill, and if you've been here before, you notice Buford Gladney Stadium looks a little different. Press box is on the west side of the stadium. That's different because it was over there. If you'll also notice, new bleachers, new aluminum bleachers on both sides, both the home side and the visitor side, which is again a change. Part of an ongoing athletic facilities improvement project across Maury County schools. And so this is between the bleachers, the moving of the press box, and this new fencing here. You're talking about $1 million according to MCPS Athletics Director Chris Pointer. So there are upgrades like this going on all across Maury County at the various schools. And so they are trying to, I wouldn't say get in an arms race, but they're trying to give these coaches and these players what they need to be successful on the fields, on the courts, that kind of thing. And we'll be keeping up with more of that as we come across it. But Spring Hill getting ready to host Summit in their season opener in a couple of weeks, and Summit will be sitting over there. So, and that'll do it from the north end of Moms of Southern Tennessee. Let's go to Wade on the south end.
Busy times here for us in Giles County as we have officially cleared the month of July. We are now kicking off the month of August. Don't know where the time went, and I'm not sure that I'm ready for it, but one thing is for sure, Football season is right around the corner. Our fall sports seasons are right around the corner as Giles County schools are back in session. UT Southern will be back a little bit later this month as well. So business is a-booming, as they say, here in Giles County. With that being said, in this week's edition of the Pulaski Citizen, we had words on the Giles County and Richland golf teams, both of which competed actually in the month of July to kick off their fall seasons, which is kind of crazy to think about. But the high school golf season is off and running. We had a recap of what went down over in Lawrenceburg, also kind of a preview of what's to come here in 2023 for those respective programs. You can certainly read that. Speaking of what's to come, we also had a release on the UT Southern soccer schedules, defending national champs 2 years removed in your women's soccer program. We have a story on their schedule. And then the men's program under third-year head coach Brian Davies, they won the Mid-South Conference last year in the regular season. Unfortunately, did not make the national tournament, but they'll look to get back. Both of those programs now members of the Southern States Athletic Conference. So you can read all that and always words from our good friend Mr. Larry Woody in print this week. Coming up, it's football. We've got all of your middle school and high school football coverage coming your way. You can find it every step of the way with us throughout the month of August as we get you prepped. Middle school already began. South Giles suffered a 28-14 defeat last night over in Franklin County. And Richland and Bridgeforth are kicking off their respective seasons in the days to follow. So football is going forward. We also will have previews of your Giles County High School volleyball program still to come. It's a busy time for us here. And a reminder, you can check us out in print every week right here in Pulaski and throughout Giles County. But you can also check us out online at PulaskiCitizen.com.
All right, stick around for more Mornings on Main Street right after this.
They have always met wildest expectations as far as taking care of my teeth and my health. You know, teeth health is very important now to your heart. And I told him one day, I said, I'd love to have nice teeth and nice hair. And he said, well, I can take care of the teeth, but I can't take care of the hair. And I said, you can make my teeth? He said, yeah. I said, well, let's go for it. And he did. And I have been tremendously pleased. Dr. Hart, if you need him at night, he's here. This staff here will take care of you 24/7. You don't have to worry about, I can't get a hold of my dentist, my tooth's hurting. No, they will be here for you. And if I could get Dr. Hart to take that same artistry that he has and grow hair, then he would be double rich.
Welcome back into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. It's time now to take a look at this week's forecast from our friends at Tennessee Valley Weather.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Kelly Rawson here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check at your forecast for the rest of today. We're going to be holding on to cloud cover for this morning and a few passing rain showers. And this mass of rain and storms will be fizzling out as it dives into our area. However, I do still think we can get some shower and storm action for the rest of this morning and into the afternoon as well as this system dives into our area. Won't be raining the entire day, but I would have the rain gear handy. Here's your 7-day forecast from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We are looking at temperatures in the upper 80s for today as well as tomorrow, but higher rain chances heading into Thursday, Friday, as well as Thursday night and Friday night. For Saturday and Sunday of this weekend, a touch warmer into the lower 90s with isolated shower and storm chances, and those chances will continue into Monday, eventually dropping off heading into Tuesday.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here. We look forward to bringing you more from Maury County and Giles County in Southern Middle Tennessee next week right here on Main Street Media Television.